Hi, my name is Wenley and welcome to another gesture drawing critique video. In this video we're going to look at Ryuu's drawings. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. And one of the things that you mentioned to me is that you are trying to get faster, in the sense that you are trying to be able to uh, capture the gesture of the figure in a shorter amount of time, a shorter time limit. And my advice, uh, if you want to do that, is to ironically to slow down, because in my experience, speed is it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of uh, knowledge and practice, actually. Meaning that it comes as you learn to understand how the human body functions better. So speed, again, and this is my experience, is not something that you should aim for. It comes naturally once you really understand how the human body is designed and how it works, how it functions, as I said, to perform uh, different kinds of actions. So if you want to increase your speed in drawing gestures, you should focus on knowledge and understanding, actually, to really understand um, how the human body functions. And then we come to the subject of rhythm again, because as I said in my previous videos, the design of the human body is based on rhythm. So that's really the first thing that you should look for, the first thing that you should gain more understanding of. So let's see, increase the opacity a little bit. And looking at your drawings, you're definitely on the right track, I would say. I can see that what I really like is that you have clear lines, meaning that I can see that you are decisive with your lines. You're not just scribbling your way around the figure. Um, and what I think that you are struggling to understand is really how the body functions, because I can really see the search uh, for I can really see the search for the right connections between the body parts in your drawings. And like I said, it really comes down to rhythm. Let me see which one would be a nice one to begin with. We pick this one, for example. I think this is a simple one to explain that with. So when I look at this pose, it feels like she's mainly pushing out her hips. So I would immediately look at the rhythms of the pose. So we would have one curve going to here, and I'm going to extend it all the way to give you a better explanation of what I'm talking about. So you have the uh, the upper part of the torso is pushing energy towards the hip. You can see a disc coming all the way to here, and it's applying itself to this curve. Then this gets pushed out, then it goes to the inner side of the knee, outside of the calf, then it comes into the heel. So at an abstract level, this is really what is happening, and that's the first thing that I look for, because it's this abstraction that gives a sense of energy and fluidity to your drawings. So now that I have the pad of rhythm, I can start building the shapes on top. Drawing the center line. Seems like there is a bit of twist happening. I'm just going to follow your drawing in that one. Mm, Going over. And notice the difference, uh, this part of her gluteus muscle is more relaxed, and this one has more tension because the weight is on this leg. So I'm showing the contrast. Here is tension supporting all the weight, and this one is relaxed. Looking for the hip bones, placing straights at the opposite of the curves. And this already gives me a good abstraction of what is happening in the figure and a good basis to continue to build on. So this comes in here, inside of the knee, the foot, go over the ankle because this leg seems to be coming towards us in space. So we go over the ankle, then you would have the heel, there. Let's see. Looking for the relationship between the back and the arm. I find myself going over the top of the shoulder blade. This arm shooting out, going around. This is wrapping around the back of the head. Go over the wrist. Shoulder blades. For the shoulder blades, I usually just I abstract it as a simple triangle. That's basically all I need at this point. Then you would most likely see it on the other side also. Okay, then you have the head. Okay, so it's really a matter of focusing on understanding what is happening, how is the body functioning um, to perform this action. And like I said a couple of times, it really comes down to understanding rhythm. And rhythm is really created by the flow of energy uh, through the body, because as you might know, energy is required for movement. What we can't see energy, what we can't see is the effect of this flow of energy through the body, and we are using line essentially to help us make visible the invisible. Okay, so again, we have rhythm coming from here, or energy, I should say rather, coming from the upper torso, and it's pushing the hips out. Then it comes here, and goes the outside of the calf, the inside of the heel. So again, this is really I'm really looking for and feeling the flow of energy through the body, and this flow of energy is creating these alternating pattern of C curves, which we call rhythm in the human body. So really, I think I explained this in a previous video, but rhythm in the human body is quite simple. I mean, it's really this pattern of C curves that is occurring. And at any given time, there are two things that can happen. I mean, either the curve is going to continue, you know, either curve is going to continue or it's going to switch to the other side. So this is really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, okay, as I have in the first curve here, what is happening? Is the curve continuing or is it going over to the other side? And here's going to the other side, to the other side, to the other side. You know, so definitely something that you should look for. Mhm. Let me see. One other thing that I've noticed in your drawings is that you tend to make the torso a bit too short. I can clearly see it here and here. The torso is a bit on the short side actually. Just marking that out to show you. And by the way, now that I'm drawing it, I see that you did a great job in contrasting straights and curves in these drawings. So yeah, the torso is a bit short. When it comes to the proportion of the torso area, one handy thing to remember is that I'm going to just draw a very simple shape here. Let's say this is the rib cage. Or the upper torso area. The length of the rib cage is about equal to the length of the midsection plus the hip area. Let me see. See, we have the hips here, the center line. Let me actually check if the length is matching. Close enough to make my point. So yeah, take into account that the length of the upper torso is about the same as the length of the midsection plus the hip area. Okay, so if I look at it here, the you've got the upper torso right in terms of length, but then it's getting too short here. Definitely would need a bit more mass. Let's say something like this. So just a little more length added uh, to the lower torso makes it come look closer to what a real figure would look like. Okay, so definitely something you would want to pay more attention to in your next drawings. And again, coming back to the subject of speed, it's really um, understanding the rhythmic design of the body. For example, if I look at this pose, I could easily start capturing what's happening. Over the hip. looking for the rhythmic connections between the body parts. Just invent an arm here. Um, yeah, let's say let's go in here. So arm is there. Then something like this. So by focusing on rhythm, you see that I'm getting a sense of connectivity and fluidity in the whole figure quite fast. Let me see. There was one more thing that I wanted to mention. Mm, oh yeah. So in talking about your line quality, um, you're definitely making a good marks. I would say just loosen up a little bit more. So uh, give yourself the freedom to draw with longer, more fluid strokes. Uh, really focusing on capturing what's happening. Don't be concerned with making any kind of beautiful drawing at this point. Um, focus on understanding. Focus on understanding the function of the human body. And again, it really comes down to being able to feel the flow of energy through the pose and how that creates rhythm and really loosen up. I mean, loosening up also will help you draw faster. But the problem is if you're just focusing on speed and um, you're not understanding what you're doing, the whole thing just becomes an exercise in how fast you can put down lines on the paper. And when it comes time to, let's say, animate or pose your own characters from imagination, so what are you going to do then? You know, it's having a timer next to you and drawing, just putting lines down in, let's say, 60 seconds or 30 seconds. It won't really help you with anything when you're inventing your own characters and figures if you don't understand um, the function of the human body, if you don't understand um, what is happening and how to pose your characters in a way that conveys the action that you want to convey. So you really need to understand, besides being able to draw, say, simple forms and knowing the anatomy, you also need to understand the rhythmic design of the human body and how to design interesting or forceful shapes for shapes that have a feeling of flow and energy to them. So there's a lot more to drawing um, good figures and characters than just learning anatomy and learning perspective and that kind of stuff. Design is definitely uh, an important subject to study also. Come here, holding. See, I have a curve here. I think it can pick up by the head in this manner. See, by connecting the front of the rib cage, to the neck and head, it immediately creates a sense of unity and fluidity in the figure. I immediately got the right placement for the head, because if I don't find a path of rhythm that connects the the upper torso with the head and neck, then it would most likely look off and odd, and I wouldn't know why. I would be like, okay, I'm drawing what I'm looking at. I'm drawing the head like I'm seeing it in the reference, but why is it looking off? I'm constructing it, I'm putting the right anatomy in and everything in there, but you really need to find the rhythmic connections between all the body parts in order for your figures to be unified, because otherwise they can easily end up looking like a bunch of uh, parts glued together instead of one unified whole. Let's see, this is also a nice one. I can feel a clear leading edge pushing in this direction. Come over here, it's pushing out. This curve is picked up by the top, the leg coming here, the heel. I find the path of rhythm, and then I can put a straighter line on the other side, start defining my shapes. And I use that to build the figure on top. Thinking about the shoulder blades, arm, leaning on the leg. Even though we can't see much of the other arm, we can definitely use the shoulder blades to help us get a sense of structure in that area. Let's see what's happening in the head. And here there just give us a sense of orientation for how the head is positioned in space. So as you can see, I really again began with finding the path of rhythm, feeling the flow of energy, and finding the path of rhythm through the body. And this allows me to capture the figure quite fast, actually. This one is a nice one also. I think the rib cage would be hanging more like this, then picked up here over the hip bones. This leg will be pushing over. It looks like she's supporting uh, her upper body with her arms, so I would expect her shoulder area to stick out more. Because what is happening at an abstract level is that the front of the rib cage is applying energy to the shoulder blade and the shoulder muscle, pushing it up. then to be picked up by back of the arm. Maybe it's bending in this direction or whatever. We would need to look at the reference to see exactly what was happening there. But be aware of the interaction of the different body parts, meaning that they are uh, they are applying energy one to another, and keeping an eye out for that helps you make your poses more believable. So maybe we would see a bit of the shoulder blade on the other side also, bit of the center line, and then go to the head. See, I'm putting a curve here and a straight at the other side. It gives me a good basis to build the head on. This would go here. So yeah, overall, again, your drawings are definitely on the right track, especially in terms of the clarity that you're looking for. And as I said, if you want to be able to draw faster, don't focus on speed. Focus on knowledge. Focus on uh, really understanding the the rhythmic design of the human body, and again, definitely also learn to uh, draw simple forms. Learn to construct uh, forms like cylinders, boxes, and spheres. From these drawings, I can't really tell uh, how much you have mastered that part of drawing at this point. But yeah, definitely focus on perspective, on how to build simple forms. Learn your proportions, learn the anatomy, learn the shape of the muscles and their function. You know how what what they do and where they attach. And when it comes to muscles, one of the easiest ways that I found to memorize them is really shape. Just learn what the characteristic shape of each of the muscles are. Like drawing the shape of the chest muscle here. Then you have the deltoid fitting in that rib cage. You would have the ab muscles. So yeah, really start to help you memorize the anatomy better. Look at the shapes of the bones and muscles. Learn where they attach and what their function is. And at a certain point, you will find that you are able to start combining all these things together and really speed up your figure drawing skills. So hopefully this helps you, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.